Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Cat's Track. Thank you for subscribing, liking, and sharing this with your friends. Today's episode is with my friend and colleague, Kevin Kirkpatrick. Kevin was born in Tacoma, Washington. His family lives in the Seattle area. His parents, a sister and a brother, and their spouses. Kevin tells me that he loves borrowing their children, his two nephews, and pets as needed. Besides his loved ones, he is passionate about tax law, of course. He also loves art, reading, traveling, and U.S. college football. What good man doesn't, right? Kevin was also seriously considering becoming an architect as an undergraduate and has retained a bit of interest in that area too. Look forward to learning more. And of course, Kevin is extremely passionate about the American Chamber of Commerce Canada West chapter. Yes, Kevin?
Absolutely.
Friends, you'll find his full bio attached. Ready for the questions that we sent you, Kevin?
I am.
Awesome. Okay. Tell me a little bit about what you do. Obviously, tax law. Okay, that's super exciting.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's an acquired taste, maybe you'd say. I'm a U.S. lawyer by training. My background is really in the U.S. That's where I went to law school, as well as the rest of my education. But I got interested in the international component of U.S. tax, and so ended up taking a job at a firm here in Calgary, Moody's Tax, that specializes in cross-border tax. And along the way became also a Canadian lawyer, although I try to stay away from Canadian tax if possible. I've found there are a lot of good Canadian tax professionals in Canada. So U.S. seems to be where I'm needed most in terms of cross-border services, advising U.S. individuals in Canada, dual citizens, as well as Canadian individuals who like to spend time in the U.S. or invest there, and especially Canadian businesses looking to expand south of the border.
Wow. And being your neighbor, I can tell you absolutely love what you do.
I do. It's interesting work. It's very niche, I guess you could say, at least from a U.S. perspective. But when you're here in Canada, you realize how much demand there is for that type of work, and how important it is to a lot of businesses to get good tax advice when they're thinking of going across the 49th parallel.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember a slide that Moody's had once where it actually was a slide of how many books it took for the Canadian tax side and then how many books it took for the U.S. tax side. It's like, whoa, it looks very complex to me, way over my head.
It's well, yeah. I mean, that's one criticism actually of U.S. tax laws. It's become so intricate and overwrought that it's unwieldy. But yeah, on the other hand, I guess it keeps us employed. So
Wasn't it you who said, if you sneeze in the U.S., you better talk to you?
yeah, or I've probably said that, or some of my colleagues. It's an interesting patchwork of the way things, you have federal and state, and they sort of talk to each other, and then there's also counties and cities and special districts, and they all have their own rules and their own taxes. So
Amazing.
no end of it.
Wow. And how grateful I am that you decided to accept our invite to join the American Chamber of Commerce Canada West chapter. You're a wonderful addition to our board. Tell me why you decided to join us. And I mean, obviously, besides the fact that it's board members that are super awesome, but
Yes, that would be the first reason, of course. But yeah, no, thanks very much. It's really a natural fit for what I and my firm do, is working with cross-border, especially owner-managed businesses, as opposed to some of the huge public companies. Of course, we're happy to work with them too, but obviously they're pretty sophisticated usually. And so we like working especially with entrepreneurs, people who have really good ideas, really good business sense, and are looking for the next opportunity. So it's, cross-border commerce is absolutely right up our alley. So great fit, great networking for, not just getting clients, but getting to know people in the business community in Calgary, as well as throughout Western Canada.
That's awesome. Can you give some examples? I know that you brought a few members. Why do you think that they joined our chapter?
Yeah, we definitely have had a few of our clients sign up to become AmCham members, probably for that same reason. They really fit that mold of, the smaller business or growing small business, looking to network with other people, not just for tax or professional services advice, but also getting practical advice on what it's like to do business across the border. Maybe they're not even expanding into the US. Maybe they just have US customers, and how do you tap into the market just as a Canadian corporation? And there's a lot of insight and smart people around the table to talk to and learn from.
Aw, Kevin, thank you so much. And you're right. I'm so glad that our clients joined as members, and certainly have enjoyed getting to know them better. I also love the networking and support that we have for one another as board members, but also as members in the chapter.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, fingers crossed, when COVID is finally behind us, it will be great to really get back and be able to do more in person, because that's been a hallmark of AmCham in the past, and we've tried to keep it up as much as we can, but this year has obviously been a little different than most.
So true. I'm looking forward to flying around the world.
Absolutely.
Kevin, thank you so much for joining us today. I know your time is precious, and I'm grateful that you took time.
Thanks. Always a pleasure. Nice talking.
Thank you. Kevin Kirkpatrick, Moody's Tax, the coolest cross-border tax lawyer. Check him out. And the American Chamber of Commerce Canada West chapter, amchamwest.ca. I hope you'll join us soon. Have a great day.